Welcome to North Fulton Serves. This is a podcast where we share stories about people making a difference in our community and learn about how we can get more involved. I'm your host, Jason Binder, and with me today I have my friend Mike Haynes from Straight Up Sports and North Metro Miracle League. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining me today.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good. Well, so we're going to go through a few topics today and hopefully hear some great stories from you and what you've been doing around in the community. But as a former Atlanta Falcons player, want to hear maybe one of your favorite game time stories.
All right. I'll tell you, I'm originally from New Orleans.
Yep.
And we had the chance to play against New Orleans in the playoff game, 1991, which was, I think, was my best season as a pro. We played against, it was our third time playing against the Saints, and I ended up scoring the winning touchdown. But I caught 2 touchdowns that game. On the first touchdown, I got hit and broke a rib. Oh. So I thought I was going to sit out the rest of the game. But because it was a playoff game, I had to go back into the game and ended up scoring the winning touchdown in my hometown, which was really cool.
In front of your family, in front of all your friends.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, unfortunately, we went on to play the Redskins, who ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, and we lost to them. So,
oh, good. I've known you for a while now, since I've been in Alpharetta, and what I've always admired about you is you always have a smile on your face, and people always want to be around you, and you just have a natural leadership quality to you.
Well, I tell you, life is good for me. I mean, my wife and my 3 kids. I mean, we enjoy spending time together. We enjoy having fun. And, post-career, I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, but I found that just spending time with my family, spending time just hanging out with my kids, that really made my life happy. And
I will have to say this too. So you're a father of 3, 2 girls, and then a boy. And then, so you've always been there for me when I said, okay, I have 2 girls and I'm about to have a boy, and you just always shook your head with that smile and said it's going to be a blast and it's going to be different, but
it is.
Best of luck.
And I remember you had 2 kids, and then I kept telling you it was easy with 2 kids because each one of you can take one.
Yeah.
And then when that third one comes in, it's going to be difficult because that third one will add a new dynamic to the fold. So for us, it was the same way. We had our first 2 girls, and 7 years later, we popped out a little boy, which, it's been a joy for me because my son now plays sports, and
he's not so little anymore.
That's true, and I get to coach. My daughters were ballet and dolls and all that kind of stuff, and it was kind of hard for me. But now that I have a son, it's a lot more fun because he actually is into sports, and I get to coach all his games.
So what's he playing now?
He's in lacrosse right now. So he's a football player and a lacrosse player. So he's really good at it. He's only 2 years into lacrosse. Lacrosse is one of those sports that's really growing, and it's kind of stealing football players away from football because it's a fast-paced contact sport, but it's not as brutal as football is.
Do some of the skills that you had as a receiver translate for lacrosse, where go deep and get the ball? How does that work for lacrosse?
The skills do translate because it's more eye-hand coordination, stick speed. So as a receiver, we had to have that eye-hand coordination. Yeah. We had to be skilled with that. So lacrosse, he's picking that up, and he plays receiver in football. So it's a good transition for him.
Okay. So now going back to your playing days, and then what kind of leadership tips do you have, like for the locker room, that you think would translate well for others? So when you're working with all different kinds of personalities, and you're grouped in there, and you have to work towards a certain goal. What always worked for you?
I don't know if you know anything about professional athletes, but they all got big egos.
Yeah.
And trying to corral huge egos is a task by itself. But most guys who are really good at what they do automatically have leadership skills. Guys follow you if you do well on the field, if you do what you're supposed to do. Guys respect what you do. Mm-hmm. And when you live your life the way you're supposed to live your life, guys see that and they respect that. Now, you have some knuckleheads who, kind of do their own thing, but most guys, they respect who you are, what you do, and what you stand for. And as long as you're true to yourself, they respect that and follow you.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just been always admirable and easy to see that you're a person that you do what you say you're going to do, and it's just, you're easy to be around, and it's a good guy to have in your corner always.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
If we can move and talk about how did you start working with student athletes at the high school level, and what made you feel compelled to do that?
Well, I transitioned into that when I'm during my playing days. Our day off was Tuesday, and I used to spend time at Scottish Rite and Eggleston hospitals and go visit the kids, and it kind of transformed into working with high school athletes through that.
Okay.
I've always had a passion for kids. I enjoy playing. I mean, most of the time I'm the biggest kid out on the field.
Yeah,
anyway,
I was going to
so
say that.
I've always enjoyed that. And when I get an opportunity to work with kids and spend some time with them, it's a joy for me, because now, especially because I have a son and I get to coach all his teams, so I get to hang out with all the boys, and it's just been fun. So we transitioned to working with high school athletes by training, doing a lot of training sessions. And then the Touchdown Club came about. I was working with a company called XL212, and which is no longer in existence now. It's now Straight Up Sports. But we've been working. We run the local touchdown and tip-off clubs, and that works with the high school athletes. We got about 29 schools that we work with.
And the touchdown clubs for football.
Touchdown club for football, obviously.
Tip-off is for basketball.
Right. And we do monthly events for these high schools. And we average about 575 people at an event. And we do what we call a Player of the Week banquets.
Okay.
And we host at North Point Church. And each school brings 10 kids. So we kind of split the season in two. So we do a banquet after the first 6 weeks. We do another banquet after the second 6 weeks. And then we do a year-end banquet. And like I said, we just recognize kids for doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, I've been to a few of them in the past and really enjoyed them. And you do a great job recognizing them. I think recognizing them for the right things of living a balanced life, which
Absolutely.
I've always appreciated. Another thing is you also bring in a speaker to help maybe teach them a life lesson, or give them some examples.
Yeah, and I think that's important. We bring in a speaker, a positive speaker.
Yes.
I mean, I got a lot of friends who are always willing to come and speak, and I'm very picky about who I have come speak to the guys. And it's always a guy who has a life lesson to teach. And it's usually a professional football player, or we've actually had John Smotes at a football banquet before, but it's usually somebody who's very positive in the community and will deliver a really good message. Most of the kids, they want to hear stories about guys who've been through the trenches sometimes and found their way out on the positive side. So I bring in speakers kind of like that.
And have you heard back from many of the kids, the student athletes, of, wow, that really spoke to me, maybe even not even just a week later, but years, months?
Oh, absolutely. Our claim to fame this past year was we had 4 kids who've been through our program, got drafted into the NFL this year, leading off with Josh Dobbs. So, and those guys, I still talk to those guys. Those are guys, alumni of the Touchdown Club, and we still keep in touch with them, which is really cool, because I get a chance to not only watch them progress in high school, but in their college career now on to the pros.
Wow. So have any of them come back for, you got them all on the speaker circuit?
Well, it's hard to, because the guys who are actually playing now,
They got to work.
they're working during the season, so it's tough to get them. But we've had them come back and we do seminars and we do stuff like that. We've had them come back and speak at those things in off season.
So upcoming, you have an all-star game?
We've had our all-star. Basketball just ended the season for us. We had an all-star game for basketball. So right now we kind of waiting on the next football season to start. I will tell you one thing that we are doing. We are preparing for doing a DeKalb County Touchdown Club, which is really cool, which is another 22 schools over in DeKalb County, which we'll do the same thing with.
Ooh, that'll keep you busy.
That will keep me busy, yes.
So what advice do you have when a student athlete's coming to talk to you, say how to prepare and how to live your life? What's top advice you give?
Well, you asked that question, and basically the reason why I do what I do is for that reason, because I get an opportunity to talk to the young folks and tell them how to plan ahead and how to prepare for. And the toughest year in a college career is for a student athlete is his freshman year, because he's got sports, he's got also he's also got his curriculum that he's got to deal with. So that's the toughest year for a student athlete. So that first year, I always tell them, if you can get past that first year, just going to school like you're supposed to and doing the things, taking care of your body, those types of things, then they'll get through their college career pretty good.
Good. And then signing day, that happened earlier this year.
Signing day,
football.
well, now there's an early signing day in December,
Okay.
and then there's a signing day, which is the first Wednesday in February every year. And it's always exciting for me because the kids pretty much tell you where they're going to go to school for the next semester, where they're going to spend the next fall of their career. So I think it's always important and fun for those kids to do sign-in day, and all of our schools participate, and 680 The Fan comes out, sometimes 92.9 The Game comes out, and it's always a fun day. And it's National Signing Day, so you get to see where all the kids around the country are going to school.
So around our area, what's some of the names we need to know, and where did they go?
Oh my goodness, there's kid from Milton who was the quarterback of the year. He's going to Georgia Tech. He's Milton won state this year, which was one of our schools, which was really cool because our last banquet we had the coach of the year, which was Adam Clack, and then the school of the year, Milton, come to our banquet the night after they played for the state championship, which was really cool. So we enjoyed that a lot.
Well, good. Mike, want to talk a little bit about the North Metro Miracle League with you?
It's a mouthful, ain't it?
I know, it always is. I tend to go with the abbreviation on it. But you've been involved with the group for quite some time now.
I think it's going on 14 years. I've been involved with North Metro Miracle League. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Miracle League, but Miracle League's all over Georgia.
Yep.
Actually, Miracle League headquarters is here in Georgia. We kind of separated from the headquarters because we do a lot more than just softball. Our Miracle League here in North Park is we kind of cater to families. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Miracle League, but Miracle League is one of those organizations that cater to disabled people. And I was about to say kids, but I can't say kids because
They're
our
all like
oldest
you kids at heart.
Yes, kids at heart. But our oldest participant's 93 years old. So we go from 4 years old up to 93 years old. So we say disabled people.
So typically on the Miracle League, that's typically adaptive softball.
It is. It started out as an adapted softball league, and it grew into much more. We have about, I would say, 270 or so athletes that come out and participate, and we don't turn anybody away. So no matter what your disability is, we let you participate. So we start our day off at 10:30 with the 4 to 8 year olds, which is the age group that I coach, and then we work our way all the way up to the adults who play.
Okay. And so besides softball, what other activities do you have? I get the emails on the different events, but what does a year look like in the Miracle League?
We do a lot of things with our athletes. We have a summer camp. We take everybody to summer camp up at Lake Oconee. Okay. And we try to give them the type of experience that a normal kid would have. So a lot of times disabled kids, they stand on the sideline and they watch their able-bodied brothers and sisters participate in sports. Well, we kind of change that. We put them into the game, and we do the same thing when we take them out to camp. So we'll put them on tubes, we'll pull them on, we'll take them on boat rides and do jet skis and the whole thing.
Are you driving the boat?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
So they're definitely getting the full experience.
Oh, they're getting the full experience. But there's special equipment that we can put on them that protects them, but we try to give them the full experience.
And how has it been for you working with the players and rewarding? Are they typically, when they start off, just excited to be there, or just a little trepidation, the parents? And
you get a little bit of both. I mean, you got kids who normally don't get an opportunity to participate,
yep,
getting that opportunity to participate. So they get excited about it. They love the games. The way we run the games at the 4 to 8 year olds is everybody gets up and get a hit. Everybody gets a chance to score. So it's, we don't really keep score, especially at a young age like that. And then we have some kids that's confined to wheelchairs, yeah, and we work on a buddy system. So we have buddies that come out and we pair them up with our athletes. So the kids who are in wheelchairs or can't get around the bases, we help them get around the bases.
So there's at least as many volunteers as there are players on the field.
Absolutely. And sometimes there's more volunteers. We've been really blessed in this area with volunteers. We have certain schools will send their whole softball team or their whole volleyball team or the whole football team or the whole baseball team, and they'll come in and volunteer, which is really cool because it gives those kids an opportunity to get in the game with our disabled athletes. The really cool thing is we have, I'll give you a story about Cambridge High School. We had a kid who was one of our athletes who went to Cambridge High School. And then the whole football team came out one day. And these are, the kids who sit by themselves at lunch.
Yep.
But because they came out to the field one day and buddied up, now those kids sit with our kids, our Miracle League kids at lunch now,
During lunch.
which was really cool. So I mean, that's the kind of stuff we try to have everybody just inclusive.
And that's good for the volunteers to have those kind of relationships and
Absolutely.
learn more. And it's
Absolutely.
for the life.
We have programs like the YMSL come out, the Young Men's Service League come out. Like I said, we have the schools, all our surrounding schools come out and really put the effort in for us. So that's been a blessing for us.
Gives back to the volunteers. And what I also like seeing and like hearing about is how it's for the entire family. So it's a way that you can create social networks within the families within that environment, and that it's also there for the parents and for the siblings as well as the players.
It didn't start out that way. It kind of evolved into that, and I'll tell you because parents with disabled kids are like-minded. So it started out where we'll have the parents, they all sit together and they get a chance to talk while their kids out on the field. Well, what do you do with the able-bodied brothers and sisters who come out to the park? So we try to get them involved also. And our summer camp that I talked about, it's for everybody. It's not just for the athlete. The whole family comes up to summer camp. So we usually do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with them. So up at Camp Collinswood, we house folks that come up to camp. So
how many people are we talking about for camp?
We can host this.
Included?
We have 2 buildings that host 25 folks each building.
Okay.
And then we have a 3rd building that all the staff and volunteers stay in. So we can host up to 50 people for a weekend camp.
Okay. And how many weekends do you do?
Every weekend in the summer.
Okay.
So every weekend starting when school gets out all the way till July.
So that whole family gets the traditional summer experience.
They get the whole summer experience. There's a cafeteria on site, so we cook meals and do everything, and everything stays on camp. So
and then you have the Halloween parties and all those too.
Yeah, well, you start getting
events.
into the other parts of the year. We also host the summer camp at North Park for our athletes. Once school's out, parents still have to work. Their kids are not going to school, so they have to go, they do something with their kids. So they usually send them to camp with us. The other things that we do is we host a Halloween party. We host the Christmas Carol down at the Alliance Theater, where they give us the whole Alliance Theater seats, and we can put anybody we want in those seats. So every year we host a Christmas Carol, and we have a good 900 to 1,000 people show up for that every year. So it's really cool. We get tickets for Braves games, we get tickets for Falcons games, we get tickets to all of them, the Swarm, the Hawks. So I mean, we try to spread out as much as we can with what we do.
Well, it just sounds like you have a lot of resources that go in there. So just the softball program on its own has to be a little bit more costly than a traditional softball. And then you throw in the events. How does that work as an organization to make sure that it's available to all families that need it?
Well, our executive director, who's John McLaughlin, he does a really good job. That's all he does is Miracle League. I mean, his complete job is to do Miracle League.
His complete job, his complete heart, passion, and everything is in Miracle League.
And he spends all year raising funds to be able to pull things off like that.
By the way, tell John that my bird box, the plans are looking good. That he told me so that he has a bird box available for sale, so that
which is another program that we're doing. We started decorating birdhouses, and we'll be at the Alpharetta Farmers Market selling those birdhouses. Just another opportunity for us to raise funds to be able to do the things that we do with our kids.
So for all these families, it's not cost prohibitive. It's there. Everybody is available.
Absolutely.
The program's available for them who need it.
Absolutely, and we have so many different types of programming that it's a one-stop shop for them. Parents can come in and get a lot of things done in that one-stop shop.
So for people that would like to get involved with the Miracle League, where's the biggest help needed?
Volunteers. We always look for volunteers. There's so many different programs that we do that you can volunteer. It's nmml.net.
See, you have the name and I have the abbreviation. For
There you
lockdown.
go. And you can go online, and everything's online. You can volunteer online. You can donate online. You can see what we're doing, what we're up to. Everything's online.
In-kind donations, what typically are you looking for?
Anything that can help us out. We take used equipment for our baseball, for our softball. And, we take life vests if we can get them. We've accepted old boats, and
Okay.
we've refurbished them so that we use them out on the lake. So
I can tell that you're the captain of the water activities.
absolutely, I mean that's one of my favorite. That's
That's
one
how I
of
know.
my absolute favorite parts of the whole deal. And the excitement that the kids get. I mean, because like I said, most of those kids don't get that opportunity. And then you tell them, yes, they can have that opportunity and get out on the water and do things. And oh man, you should see the faces light up. And that's the favorite part of mine.
See their faces light up, and then I bet the parents too, seeing that their kids can actually go out there on the.
Exactly. And the fact that
That
the
they can
parents
do
get
it.
to come to camp also. We invite moms and dads and brothers and sisters and everybody who's associated with that family. Come to camp. Bring your athlete to camp. And they have just as much fun as the kids do.
Well, good. Since you've been so involved within the community, North Metro Miracle League's been involved with the community. I'm always looking at things of areas of opportunity that we can help improve for them. What could we be doing better as a community? What's needed for those families to help support them?
Well, we try to raise awareness. Most of the disabled community is pretty much put on the back burner, and we're trying to change that. That's one of the reasons why we are located right in the middle of North Park instead of being off on, because we had an opportunity to build a field somewhere else. But we want to be inclusive. We want to be where everybody else is, and those kids
Yes.
just want to be a part of their everyday life. So volunteering is huge for us. Donations is huge for us. So anybody who wants to get involved, like I said, they can go to the website, and we love having folks come out, because the more awareness that we can bring to the program, the better off we're able to support the kids that we support.
As the kids get older, do the needs change?
Yeah, the needs always change, but you can never age out of our system.
Yeah.
I mean, I know kids, I think 22 is the oldest that a disabled kid can go to high school. Then
Yeah.
what? We also have programs. We partner up with other programs like Prism's a program that they teach adult disabled kids to be able to go out into the workforce and get a job. So, but they can still participate in the Miracle League's games on Saturdays, because, like I say, our oldest participant's 93 years old.
And I think that's what was eye-opening for me when we were looking at redeveloping what's now the Arts Center, the old Fulton County Library, the old Alpharetta Library. The amount of families coming over from the special needs community saying they need places to gather for their families, and specifically for the kids that have become beyond
Yeah,
the age
pretty
of
much
22.
aged out of
school.
regular programs. Yeah, and that's important, because what do you do with those kids when they age out of high school, when they age out of programs that, and there's so many different programs for 22 and under. There's really not a lot for once you get to that 22 and over. So some kids, I keep saying kids, but some disabled folks, once they get to be 22, they can't go into the workforce because their disability won't allow them to. So we try to create programs that would also cover those people also.
Good. That's something that definitely I think the needs there, and looking forward to hearing more about how we can help. I know some of the municipalities are getting it and seeing that the needs greater than almost what a municipality can do on their own. So that it'll be a joint network between all the North Fulton cities, or most of the North Fulton cities that can.
That's true, and I would say this: the last couple of years, the city has been really amped up with just being able to help out with the program, and they also see there's a need, and they've stepped up to the program, and they've been helping us out a lot. Our program grows because of having the city back us up, having Parks and Rec back us up. So, I mean, we can only get bigger. And like I said, there's a lot of Miracle Leagues around. So, I mean, I would say, please get involved in some form or fashion.
Yeah. And it's been good to see. And I like how y'all are at North Park, because you have the city of Alpharetta and then also the city of Milton that have that have the ability to work with you. And then I know.
And not only that, I mean, it's weird because we get kids from Jones Creek, we get kids from Roswell, we get kids from Sandy Springs, and there are Miracle League fields all around those areas, but the kids still decide to come to us. Some of those Miracle Leagues are just softball.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, because we go beyond just the softball rim, we get more participants come to us than the normal Miracle League fields.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate everything that your organization's doing. To keep continuing to learn more and what we can do to help. I think of the world of what you're doing and what John's doing, and please tell him that birdhouse is coming. But in the meantime, so if people want to get a hold of you, Mike, so for straight up sports,
straightupsports.com is the parent company of the Touchdown Club and Tip Off Club. You can just go to straightupsports.com. All our information's on that. And if you want to get a hold of the Miracle League, it's nmml.net.
Perfect. And that way people can learn more of how they can get involved on both organizations and the great things that you're doing. Well, I appreciate the time that you spent with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Mike. Well, thank you for listening to North Fulton Serves. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for a new episode anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Please be sure to rate the show and look us up on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Jason Binder and jasonbinder.com. Thanks again for listening.